Good evening to the beautiful judges. Good evening to one and all present here. I am architect Nikhil Marcose and I'm going to be presenting on behalf of my firm Stapati. So the project is Pallavi Namdev Couture Studio, which is located in Cochin itself. It is basically along the National Highway in between Edappalli and Vaitala. So it's basically located on the ground floor of an existing building that is not designed by us. So it was very important. One of the key requirements of the client was that the people who are coming to the site, coming to their store, the ambience of the store has to be such that it has to reflect the identity, the brand identity. So we had to do a lot of study about the brand, how it all started, the history, if there is something that's that's very different from the other. So we could understand, we could learn that the design of the boutique for label Pallavi Namdev has evolved from the philosophy of the brand, which actually draws inspiration from the traditional richness while being contemporary in spirit. So that is exactly what we have done in our design also. So the patterns that are used in the space are derived from the unique weaving designs. And since I highlighted the term traditional Indian motifs, so it was important that we incorporate all these as elements in the design, including the color, which is like a traditional Indian palette, into the design. So this is what we finally got. So this is the main requirement of the client. There has to be a garment display. There has to be a space for photo shoot, and it also has to develop as a space where some events and all can happen. So this is the plan. So I'll just explain the plan by parts. The first part is the branding part. So what we have essentially done is we have tucked in the wall, the glass facade inside, and the entire space kind of acts like a branding area, so that it's very important to draw the attention of the people that's passing by. And we have extended the screen from inside with kinds of jets out, and that created a sense of a dynamic sense of entry, the screen. And the screen again is basically, it kind of reflects the brand identity, the weaving textile, the weaving pattern and everything that I was talking about. So this kind of encloses space and gives, defines an entry. And the people who are standing out, they can see that's, it's kind of an extension of the inside. So there is like a seamless transition from the interiors to the exteriors. And then we have the contemporary wear zone. So once you get inside, this is where they have the casual wears. And then you can see that, we have done a minimalistic approach. So this, the curved arches is like a minimalistic approach of the traditional Indian arches. So that's how we have brought in the curves. And all these screens inside delineates and forms, basically delineates into different functions, different forms. So we've deliberately given a dark palette, in the sense like we have given a dark black granite flooring, and also the ceiling is also dark. So everything that is in between, which is obviously the display, the garment display and everything, can be highlighted. And then we have the events or the photo shoot area. Again, it kind of doubles up as an events and photo shoot area. The entire area is also for a garment display. So we have done a small, yeah, we've done a runway there. It kind of doubles up as a ramp. So in case there is any photo shoot, if there is any event or something that's happening, this can be used as a ramp also. And everything that's designed in this particular area is designed as a movable furniture, so it can be taken off and used as a ramp. And we have given screens also along in the same lines of that curve, the arches, and that too from the floor to the top. So it kind of expands the volume. And again, we have given, if you're looking at the screen and the, it's like a play of, transparent, semi-transparent and opaque screens. So, and we have given copper oxide and copper finish for all the screens and the opaque screen that I was talking about. And then we have the bridal wear zone. So that is kind of tucked inside so that there is a privacy when the bride and the entourage, when they come there. So they have their own zone, they can try out their stuff. And yeah. So the same, design element which we have formed, which we have given in the screen, which kind of reflects the weaving pattern. It continues to the furnitures as well. It also continues to the flooring. So everything, it's like a very minimalistic, palette with just 2 or 3 materials, but then we just try to play with that. We just try to explore with that. And then on the inside, which requires the most privacy, we have the fitting room and the stitching, trying out rooms and things like that. And again, we have given mirrors so that it kind of creates character and also gives an expansion feeling, volume expansion feeling. And then on the end, we have the toilets and things like that. So another requirement of the client was that, the space has to look dark. The ambience has to be the same even during day and night. So we have given a backdrop, curtains which kind of acts like a backdrop for the mannequin here. We have the screen there, and then we also have extended the wall outside, so that also doubles up as a branding for the store, so that the sunlight that comes in could be limited. And we always have an ambience like that, just like the way they wanted. So these are some of the details. The same floral, the weaving pattern that's continuing in the furnitures, on the floor, on the weaving screens. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. See, I think as a space, it is extremely interesting. It's very powerful. The way the volumes have been, you have worked with it. The material essence, like making it porous, and talking about continuity in terms of the displays and all that. But if you just go back and connect to what the client has given you, so I don't think they're into that ethnic lines anymore. So they've kind of moved into a abstract direction. Like you keep zooming into a pattern to an extent that you lose the original pattern. I think if you look at their saris and if you look at, I think that's what has happened. If this is how I'm
So
seeing.
what I felt was, when we talked to the client, and also in the website, it's clearly mentioned that, it's like a marriage between the traditional motifs and expressed in a contemporary manner. So that is how their designs for the garments are.
Okay.
So I think that is also what we have tried to an extent.
No, what I feel, the feel what it is getting carried forward, it has more the idea of weave as a literal translation.
Okay, that again was okay. Yeah, so it was again a requirement of the client that, weaving, what we understood was that, weaving was a major part of the entire thing, so entire story. So it had to be shown as an element at somewhere, some place. So we have basically taken the weaving as to actually tell the story of the entire, brand. And I think to an extent, I think the brand philosophy also, we have tried to reflect the brand philosophy through that, is what I feel.
So maybe this can have an abstract direction where you don't interpret the idea of a weave literally as a material expression of a weave, rather a weave of an idea. That's what I see in their
All right.
apparel.
Okay.
So you could also probably potentially have this chance of doing that. So it's not a visual, it's not an element which is doing a weave, but an idea which can actually be weaving the entire space around or whatever. So you don't have to but as a space, really enjoyed the color schemes to the depth what you're trying with that space. But probably you can give it a try.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, looking at retail as a category, I think it's extremely difficult, and especially to come up with an idea for a particular brand, and your starting slides show the conceptual evolution of the idea. I think it's interesting, and what's even more interesting for me is how idea is taken, and then it's carried it through. So I can see that in your space planning, in the elements that are used for the division, how craft is used to create furniture and the space also. And I think it's taken it from the beginning to the logical end. It's taken through, and I really appreciate that, because sometimes you start with an idea and then you don't take it through. And especially for a category like retail, I think we always struggle where to begin and how do you take it through is always a difficult proposition, and I think it's carried out beautifully. As always, I think for me, lighting is very
Lighting
important.
played a
So,
major role.
yeah, so was it a requirement that it had to be so dark?
Yeah, that was actually a requirement of the client. So she wanted, a dark, luxurious, warmth ambient throughout the day and night. So she specifically said that. So our intent was basically to see how we can, block the sunrise that was getting in. But then to do a screen on the front elevation, we felt it was not a good idea. So that's why we have given a curtain which kind of acts like a backdrop for the mannequin. So like I said, we have actually tucked in the glass facade a bit, like 1.5 meters. Yeah. And the entire front area kind of acts like a branding area. So that we have tried to detail out how, we can catch the attention of the people.
Smart, yeah, that's a smart move. But still, like, why would no natural light be welcomed in a store like this?
I think, I think that's the ambience they actually wanted.
Sorry? Party thodi na hai yaar. Yeah, but acha, that is the lighting they will wear these clothes.
That is the ambience or the lighting that they wanted. Right. So it was a requirement from the client that they don't want any lighting. So I mean, what they basically said was the storeroom has to look the same during day and night. So that was a requirement. So we've done that.
Because
so
I think the clothes cater to that kind of a thing. All right. Okay, but nice. I think very nicely.
It is basically the design is basically the solutions to a lot of problems or the requirement of the client. When we solve all that, you finally get this.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like a journey.
I understand that totally, and yeah, good. Nice
Thank
project.
you. Thank you.
For me, the lighting, one thing that I really liked, and also the use of MS here and there and everywhere, and the way it was coming out in different forms. Great project, really liked it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go back and ask your client as to why they wanted day and night.
All right.
Because most of the time where you are not going to be in a party 24/7, you are going to be walking out, and if somebody wants to experience a club, I think a lot of time it happens.
Or also, maybe there are zones, right? Sometimes like daytime clothing and nighttime clothing. And similarly, the front part could have taken some natural lighting. I think I would have been more comfortable to enter a store which has little more lighting.
It's a designer label, right?
It's a designer label. It's a high-end designer label. So it was. Thank you. Thank you so much.